Hey everyone. So I think it's fairly safe to say that the old YouTube thing didn't really work out as well as maybe I might have hoped it did. It just kind of became like odd videos every once in a while that I did when I had random ideas. I mean, the last video that I did is a perfect example of that, which was a vegan sausage roll taste test, which is an idea that came to me when I was in town one day, and I went into Greg's and I saw that they were selling them, and I thought, I'm going to do that. It's just weird. I think, to be honest, the part of the reason, if I'm being quite analytical about myself, is I didn't really have a clearly defined sort of idea as to what the channel was going to be, and that's something I think I've brought up before. But I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna try and do something. Try a different formula, I guess, really. And I've got some ideas for videos which I'm going to talk about in a minute, which will be hopefully coming over the next few months. This isn't going to be like the first of those videos. I want to talk about something else today. I'm also, as you can see, experimenting with a new kind of framing. Like, I'm no longer sat on my couch in my living room. I'm standing up now. Look, I can jump and everything. I won't do that again. Different background with all my Lego sets. This isn't necessarily final. This is just something that I'm trying out. So let me know if you think it works. If you think it doesn't, the lighting isn't as good as I would like it over here. I need a bit more light coming from over here, which I can't really help because both the lights that I've got in this room are fixed. So I'm kind of just relying on natural lighting coming from this side. But just trying things out, just experimenting, just trying to see if I can find something that works. Anyway, so what I want to talk about today is the theatre, because it's something that I've talked about in the past about me being an actor. What I've mainly talked about is the film work that I've done over the last couple of years, and a few months ago, I finished work on my most recent film project, which is a film called Morris. It's another independent movie, all shot locally, which is now wrapped. It's completely done, so they're just doing the post-production work that they need to do to get it ready for release, which is really exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing the finished product there. But how I got my start into acting anyway is through the theatre, and it's something that I did at college. I started it in college, and after I finished college, I joined a local theatre company that was run by a buddy of mine, and I was a part of that for a number of years following that. But I kind of got to a point whereby I wasn't really kind of enjoying it as much as I used to, which I wanted to do something different, I guess you could say. I wanted to put it subtly. I just kind of wanted to try something different. I wanted to do something different, and that's kind of where the film work came in. It was kind of fortuitous that as I started to feel like that, Jason Brown, who's the writer, director, producer of the films that I've done so far, approached me with that first role in Dark Vale a couple of years ago. But all the while I've been doing that, I've loved doing the film work that I've done. But there's been kind of that part of me that's wanted as well to jump back into doing a bit of theatre as well. There's no reason why you can't do both at the same time. And that cycles me back around to the main focus of this video, which is a couple of weeks ago I went to see this guy live on stage at the Playhouse Theatre in Nottingham. Ian McKellen. Look, pick it up. Here's my ticket, just in case you don't believe me. I didn't just pick that up off of eBay, I actually bought it at the theatre after having seen Sir Ian McKellen, who I know. Obviously the guy's done so much work in theatre over so many years, most notably probably Shakespeare work, but I know him mostly from playing Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. And he's always been an actor that I've really respected and really looked up to in a big way. So to get the chance to actually see him on stage was a dream come true. It's a bucket list item crossed off. I've still got Patrick Stewart that I need to see live on stage at some point in the future. Fingers crossed. So I just want to talk about that really, and sort of the results of that in relation to my own life in the theatre, I guess. Ian McKellen, he was on stage for, I would say, approximately 2.5 hours. There was a 20-minute interval just over halfway through. And the guy, honestly, never stopped. He was moving around the stage all over the place. I imagine, obviously, there were scripted elements of the show that he did, but it felt like a lot of what he was doing was sort of off the cuff. It had a very sort of organic, sort of natural feel to it, like a flow to it, like almost as though every show that he does is a little bit different every time he does it, which you get because there was some audience participation in there. But he never stopped all the way through. He was constantly going. His energy level was always at its highest throughout the show. It never dropped. And hands down for me, I've got so many favourite moments throughout, but the one that I really want to bring up is how the show opened up, basically. My girlfriend and I were sat there, we were just chatting about the show and how much we were looking forward to seeing him on stage and all this kind of thing, and just talking about stuff. The lights were down on the actual theatre space and in some of the auditorium as well. And without warning, without any foreshadowing of any kind, blaring through the stage theatres was that fellowship thing, that dun 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 dun, all the song, and then the lights come up on stage, and you've got Sir Ian McKellen on stage with a book in his hand, which turns out is the Fellowship of the Ring, and he reads and essentially acts out the whole sequence of events from the book leading up to Gandalf falling at the bridge in Moria, Khazad-dûm, the fight against the Balrog. And he does the whole "you shall not pass" thing, which is amazing on film, and to see it in person is even better, if anything. And then after that, he goes into he sort of goes away from the book and just talks about his experience of working on the film and relates all these stories to us. At one point, he brought out the actual Glamdring sword, but one of them, the one that he got to keep, he brought that out. He had his wizard hat, which I assume, again, I don't think he explicitly stated that it was, but I assume, again, it was actually his hat, the wizard hat, the pointy hat. And he's on stage with Glamdring and the grey pointy wizard hat, which is just... But as a big Lord of the Rings movie fan, it was just so incredible to see. And for me, it was the highlight of the show. One highlight among many, really. But towards the end of the show, obviously he'd been going at the same energy level all the way through, and towards the end, he sort of said to everyone, one thing that he's doing is he's using this tour that he's doing. He's going all over the country. He's doing something like 80 shows or something, because it's for his 80th birthday, you see. So he's doing 80 shows, and at every stop that he's doing a collection for a local charity. In this case, it was a charity that was designed to sort of help young people, shall I say, get into theatre themselves and get interested in theatre themselves, which is, again, brilliant. And he basically, after doing this 2.5-hour show, where he's constantly moving about and constantly energetic and high energy levels and all this kind of stuff, is going from the stage and running all the way through the audience out into the foyer. If I can have that level of energy when I'm 80, or even when I'm 60, I will be a happy man. I will be a very happy man. It was incredible, and I can't quite sum up just how much it meant to both me and my girlfriend to finally get the chance to see Ian McKellen in person and to actually speak to him as well, because we actually got the chance to briefly meet him and briefly sort of say thank you and God, you're amazing, please be my professional acting coach, all those kind of things. I didn't say that. So anyway, but that's what I've recently done, and seeing that, it kind of, I guess, ignited a bit of a spark in me. It made me think to myself, I used to not specifically do what he's just done, but I used to get up on stage and you know, work for a series of weeks or months towards creating a character and then perform that character on stage. That's something that I used to do. And I kind of started thinking that's something that I'd really like to do again. And to relate a quote from a famous film, you can call it fate, you can call it luck, you can call it karma. Very recently, an old friend of mine from college who runs her own theatre company called Something Theatre, that operates in Mansfield, approached me with the potential for a role in a show that she's doing called Stags and Hens, which will be, I think, looking to perform in November. I went to an audition for that last night, and I got a part in it. I'm in the show. I'm doing it. I'm getting back into the old theatre thing, while still, hopefully, in the future, keeping the film work alive. So, excellent. And this all kind of brings me around to the next, potentially, anyway, I say the next, but potentially the next video that I'm going to put out there, which is going to be basically my ranking of all the Middle-earth films. So the films from The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit all together in the 6-film series that they basically are. And I'm going to rank them in order of my least favourite to my most favourite. And that'll be potentially next week, more likely the week after. I've also, as a bit of a separate, more reviewy type video, I guess, got a Stranger Things Series 3 idea running around my head, and I'm going to be looking at talking about that in another video of the coming weeks as well. So there we go. Thanks for watching, if indeed you did watch. And if you like what you see and you're potentially interested in what I've detailed as to come, drop me a like, drop me a subscribe as well, because it really helps me out. And anything you'd like to say about this video, please leave a note in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.